Tonight, the tragedy in Hawaii grows deadlier as the ruin from raging wildfires becomes clearer.
This is not even the worst of it. Still get dead bodies in the water floating.
The struggle to get out of the danger zone as communications fail. Another allegation of foreign interference against a prominent former politician.
They have directed individuals to gather information about me.
The Canadian exclusive. And the Amazon delivery she did not ask for and does not want.
I can't eat, I can't sleep. I start shaking when I see packages at my door.
The BC woman and all the shoes that just keep coming.
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
In Hawaii, the disaster grows more staggering. At least 53 people are dead, a number that is expected to rise in the wake of catastrophic wildfires on the island of Maui. Those who survived it still trying to wrap their heads around the extent of what's happened to them. And more startling video is emerging showing the ferocity of the fire as it tore through historic Lahaina. That popular tourist town, well known to many Canadians, is now almost completely destroyed. More than 11,000 people have been forced to leave the island. The U.S. president has declared the situation a disaster. So the fires have been fanned by gusting winds from a nearby hurricane. The one fire on Maui is the biggest and most dangerous, but right now, multiple fires are burning across Hawaii. Lindsay Duncombe now on this evolving disaster and the terrifying experience of some Canadians trying to get out.
Oh my gosh!
Even from the air, it's hard to grasp the scope of the loss. On the ground, individual scenes of horror.
This is not even the worst of it. Still get dead bodies in the water floating and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night.
The death toll certain to rise.
We do know that more people have perished. We also are only now getting some of our search and rescue personnel into other houses. There are helicopters floating around the community right now. That number is going to go up very significantly.
Lahaina, a tourist town home to 12,000 people, is flattened. Homes, livelihoods, gone.
Everyone that I know and love, everyone that I'm related to, that I communicate with, my colleagues, friends, family, we're all homeless.
From governments, promises to help.
Anyone who's lost a loved one whose home has been damaged or destroyed is going to get help immediately.
The scale of this disaster is rattling confidence in systems designed to protect people. There are reports 911 wasn't working, no internet or phone service for days. Not surprising to people who plan for emergencies.
Unfortunately, communications are a huge challenge in the disaster context. These are the moments when the systems are under the highest amount of strain and stress, and they're also vulnerable to the same kinds of disruption that we're experiencing.
We had no connection to the outside world for almost 3 days.
Natalie Barsasat is from BC. She spent the night in a rental car in a Walmart parking lot after being rescued from her hotel by the National Guard.
This poor woman was crying next to me, holding her 3-month-old baby. Her house was burnt down. Her dog died in the fire, and she couldn't get hold of her husband, who was somewhere near her old house. And it was just horrifying.
Barsasat has a flight home. She's worried, though, for the people who can't leave, that the horror for those who live here is still unfolding. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
That devastation is so intense. It all seemed to happen so quickly. To help break down what is going on here, we are joined by Stephen Businger, a meteorologist at the University of Hawaii. So, Stephen, fire plus those hurricane force winds, clearly critical ingredients here. But what else was going on in Maui before? What sort of conditions were developing on the ground that factored in?
Well, this time of year, which is sort of middle of summer, typically the lee side of Maui is very dry, and there are a lot of invasive grasses that occur there since the agriculture, the sugarcane growing was no longer taking place. Then it's replaced by these dry grasses. It is true that we had more rainfall during the wintertime, which allowed the grasses to become a little fuller and deeper. And then this summer was quite dry, a bit drier than normal, so that the circumstances certainly were primed for this event. But I think that it was really the unusual strength of the winds that caused the event.
And so if we're looking to the future, what do you think people there should be prepared for now? Not just in Maui, but on some of the other islands?
Well, you know, it's interesting because this kind of wildfire we have also seen in California. And in California, the power company has decided that they are going to be very vigilant and turn off the power in advance of forecasts of downslope windstorms or very, very strong winds. And I think that's a model that Hawaii has to adopt as well.
That's important to think about. All right, Stephen Businger, thank you very much, sir. Now, it's not just homes and businesses that were burned down. Many significant landmarks in Lahaina were destroyed, too. Like this 150-year-old banyan tree, 60 feet tall. It's been mesmerizing locals and visitors for generations, seen as a place of gathering in the community.
I have all these memories by the tree, you know? I think everybody does. And it's just so big, it's hard for that not to play a big role in the imagery in your mind of your memories there.
But tonight, a different picture. Parts of it have been charred by the fires, its foliage blackened. Officials say it is still too early to determine just how extensive all the damage is. And tonight, hundreds of wildfires continue to burn across BC as the province braces for a heat wave that could make this even worse.
It is possible that communities get into such a dire situation that they will require help from the province in transporting potable water to their communities.
It's very dry across much of the province, and water levels are low. 80% of BC's water basins are at severe drought levels. The province is once again asking people to conserve water. Officials believe the drought could stretch into next year. And then there is the rain, the heavy downpour and hail that hammered Ottawa today, flooding roads and cutting power in several neighborhoods. As streets turned to rivers, some drivers were just forced to abandon their vehicles. 24,000 customers lost electricity. Now, the federal government's plan for a greener electricity grid is under scrutiny tonight. The goal is for power generation across Canada to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2035. Marina von Stackelberg shows us what that could do to the cost.
Canada's electricity is some of the cleanest in the world. 84% of power generated in this country does not emit greenhouse gases. Now a plan from the federal government to make the entire electrical grid carbon neutral by 2035.
We know that what we're doing is not enough, because what we're doing leads to the type of summer we've seen in Canada in terms of climate impact and all around the world. So we need to do more.
Experts say Canadians' demand for electricity will double in less than 3 decades.
Getting serious about climate change means using more electricity. It's the most important thing we have to do. So ensuring that our systems are ready, that they're ready with plentiful, affordable, clean power is absolutely essential 21st century economic investment.
The regulations have exemptions, like for remote communities that rely on diesel. Utilities also won't be outright banned from using natural gas to make electricity, but they must offset those emissions.
I think the good thing about how well these regulations are designed is that they provide policy certainty to industry, investors, and communities so that they can plan, and at the same time, they give flexibility to provinces.
But Alberta and Saskatchewan say Ottawa's timeline of 2035 is completely unrealistic.
We've seen the federal government put ideology before common sense, affordability, and reliability once again. These regulations seem to completely disregard how the electricity systems actually work in provinces like Alberta.
Electricity providers say they are on board with the regulations.
They are very stringent, and so there will be a process for us and with government over the coming months to make sure that we can get them right to build the system that Canadians need.
Canada's Environment Minister says 12 years is plenty of time to build a carbon neutral grid. Doing so will cost billions, and some of that price tag will be passed on to Canadians. But experts say ultimately moving away from fossil fuels will save money. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
So it's just weeks before classes begin, and students across the country are scrambling to find a place to live. Many are still in limbo, facing a lack of available housing. As Thomas Daigle shows us, it may prove especially difficult for those coming from abroad.
It took months of searching, but Hadia Rastamifar finally landed this apartment for the fall.
I had to consider whether I was going to be homeless or not for a good portion of the academic year.
Originally from Iran, Rastamifar is studying psychology at the University of Calgary. Entering her third year, she found herself priced out of housing on campus.
I'm lucky that I found even like a place that's like 30 minutes away from campus by transit.
As Canada's housing crisis sends renters everywhere scrambling with high prices and low supply, student residences are reporting previously unseen wait lists. From west
this year, we're seeing it at 750 people.
To east.
That adds up to probably about 150 people who are currently looking for accommodations on campus.
Inflation and interest rate hikes have led many renters to put off plans to buy a home. Instead, they're holding on to apartments, making it harder for newcomers to find a place to stay that's available immediately.
One university.
And with Canadian schools promoting themselves abroad,
welcome
Bienvenue
to Concordia University.
International students are coming in bigger numbers.
These institutions, they're not really being honest many times about the accommodation aspect, which is fundamental.
Imagine signing up for a Canadian university from Pakistan, then learning just how hard it is to find a place to stay here. Haroon Malik was accepted at Memorial University of Newfoundland.
Obviously, I wouldn't want to be homeless, and I also don't have like any friend or like family in St. John's to count on.
He's still searching, with so far nowhere to go when he arrives later this month. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, Toronto.
Tonight, there are new allegations of foreign interference in Canada. CBC News has learned the federal government is looking into claims that Poland tried to gather information on a former Alberta cabinet minister. Rafi Boudjikanian has our Canadian exclusive story.
Thank you for having me.
Thomas Lukaszuk often talks Alberta politics on CBC News. He is also the province's former deputy premier. And as a Polish Canadian, he was shocked when he says he was tipped off about what Polish Foreign Affairs was trying to do.
They have directed individuals to gather information about me.
Lukaszuk provided CBC News with what he was told are encrypted emails between the Polish government and their consul general in Vancouver. CBC has not independently verified the emails. The exchanges appear to take place over a year and show Warsaw asking the consul general to collect information about Lukaszuk's social and political activities.
Any random ministry cannot simply surveil Polish Canadians abroad or other citizens of other countries abroad.
Lukaszuk suspects why he might have been targeted. 3 years ago, he successfully lobbied against the controversial Polish priest from speaking at churches in Edmonton. The consul general has lost his job. The matter came up at a parliamentary committee in Poland last month.
Z prowincji Alberta, pan Tomasz Łukaszuk.
Opposition politicians cited the alleged emails and questioned their Secretary of State on whether their diplomat was recalled because of refusing to spy on Lukaszuk. Piotr Wawrzyk said refusing to carry out an order is grounds for dismissal.
This is not a good idea for any country to be doing through their diplomats.
The Polish government would not confirm the cited emails and insists it follows international diplomatic convention for everything it does. Ottawa says it's in contact with Lukaszuk and is working closely with security intelligence partners. Lukaszuk says if Poland does not provide him assurances it will stop this activity, he'll be contacting CSIS and the RCMP. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Public Health Agency of Canada is sending scientists to New Brunswick to help with what some have called a mysterious illness. But the province is clear that its investigation is closed. Kayla Hounsell shows us why patients feel they're being ignored and their doctor is being made a scapegoat.
Roger Ellis has been struggling with these symptoms for nearly 4 years. His son says he and others like him deserve answers.
It keeps me going. We have to get to the bottom of this.
In 2021, the New Brunswick government announced it was dealing with a mysterious condition. It investigated 48 cases, then last February said this.
The committee has concluded that no such syndrome exists.
Now, the Public Health Agency of Canada is sending 2 federal epidemiologists to New Brunswick for 3 days. It says their focus is to help the leading neurologist, Dr. Alier Marrero, with paperwork the province says he's been unable to keep up with. His patients say he's the only one trying to help them.
I hope the support for Dr. Marrero is an unbiased support, and that they also do look into environmental testing because I host support groups for the patients, and there's a lot of things that are quite similar.
The New Brunswick government is clear. This does not mean it is reopening its investigation.
That's unacceptable, and we're still going to continue to demand an investigation.
In January, Dr. Marrero wrote this letter to the Chief Medical Health Officers of Canada and New Brunswick, saying he's now following nearly 150 cases. The number of cases has continued to increase, as well as the number of referrals from other provinces, like Nova Scotia, Alberta, and Quebec, he wrote, asking them to study possible environmental toxins.
The devastation and the trauma is for the patients in this country who are in New Brunswick and outside of the province who are being sidelined because public health officials are choosing, in our view, to scapegoat a doctor.
That advocates group has now sent a letter to Canada's health minister requesting an urgent meeting to address a lack of response by Health Canada to what she calls this extraordinary circumstance. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
5 Americans detained in Iran may soon be returning home as the 2 countries have reached a prisoner swap deal. So today the 5 were released from prison to house arrest. The deal will reportedly see about $6 billion of Iranian assets unfrozen from U.S. sanctions. It's to be used by Iran for humanitarian purposes only. The U.S. would also release several jailed Iranians. Tonight in Niger, coup leaders remain defiant, announcing a new government after ignoring Sunday's deadline to reinstate the democratically elected president. As Margaret Evans shows us, a regional military force is now poised for a possible intervention.
From West African leaders, another condemnation of the coup in Niger, the threat of military intervention still on the table. But the current chair of the bloc, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, also made it clear it's a path they want to avoid.
It is crucial that we prioritize diplomatic negotiations and dialogue as the bedrock of our approach.
Hard to do if the coup leaders don't want to talk. Yesterday, Nigerian envoys did manage a meeting with the coup leader, General Abdurrahman Chiani. That's critical, say analysts, if Niger is to avoid bloodshed.
We are desperate to have democracy, but at what cost?
Olayinka Ajala says the general has African leaders and the West in a tough spot.
This coup is bloodless. Not a drop of blood has been shed. So do we want a democracy that is going to be established on the blood of tens of thousands of people? If there is an invasion and a resistance.
Niamey resident Sadiq Diarra says the coup has brought optimism. I can see that people are really united now, he says, and we're very happy that these soldiers have come to power. Support for the coup in other parts of the country is less clear. One former politician and rebel leader reportedly putting together a movement to see the deposed president, Mohamed Bazoum, reinstated. Ajala fears internal fighting will open the door even wider for jihadists.
We don't want another Syria in that region. We don't want another caliphate.
But the junta is clearly setting in for the long haul. They've set up a new cabinet with 21 members. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
A BC woman is facing hundreds of dollars in fees for Amazon orders she didn't make.
I can't eat, I can't sleep, I start shaking when I see packages at my door.
Why she can't stop those boxes from showing up.
If your address is available online somewhere, that's what they're doing.
Tourists head to the edge of space.
I'm not here yet. I'm still up there.
And the Team Canada pitcher training while fighting fires.
You get a rush when you go into a big wildfire, and I get a rush when I get put into a big game.
We're back in 2. Tonight, this BC woman is speaking out over some bizarre and unwanted Amazon deliveries. She's being bombarded with packages she didn't order. She's also being charged hundreds of dollars in shipping charges. And as Ali Pitarga shows us, despite politely, persistently calling for the deliveries to stop, they keep coming.
Almost every day for 2 months, Anka Nitu finds a not-so-special delivery on her porch. More than 50 of these packages quietly dropped off by delivery people at her doorstep with no chance to deny them.
I can't eat, I can't sleep, I start shaking when I see packages at my door.
And inside these parcels are shoes like this. These are not even a third of what she received. She's given away the rest, and they're unfit not just for her feet.
They are definitely not my style.
The packages come from different senders who are mostly from the US. Each box comes with one of these return authorization slips. Nitu suspects her residence is being used as a return address to dump unwanted merchandise.
It has my name, it has my address, it has my old phone number that has been out of service for 4 years.
But Nitu says the shoes are the least of her problems compared to the bills. UPS mailed her more than $300 worth of customs charges, which she is refusing to pay. And UPS has been slow to respond to her complaints. They tell CBC they're looking to investigate further, but haven't given official comment.
I might at some point in time receive a very hefty bill from Amazon for seller services that I never requested, and I never had, and I never want.
BC's Better Business Bureau says this could be linked to a vendor return scheme where sellers or third-party handlers can avoid warehouse or shipping fees by sending unwanted products to residences.
It might be cheaper for them to actually just send it out to random addresses and say that it's been given to or it's been delivered to a buyer. So if your address is available online somewhere, that's what they're doing.
Nitu has yet to prove the exact cause. In a statement sent to CBC, Amazon says the case in question has been addressed and corrective action is being taken to stop the packages. Nitu filed a report to Langley RCMP, and for now, she says UPS advised her to put a sign on her door to refuse all delivery drops.
I don't know how long this is going to continue. This is not under my control. It is obvious something that happened on the Amazon platform, and they don't want to be held accountable for it.
She worries her name will forever be associated with a third-party seller she has nothing to do with, as she wonders what will it take for the shoe to drop on whoever is causing this. Ali Pitarga, CBC News, Langley.
Tributes are pouring in tonight for Hugh Segal, a former senator and key advisor to conservative leaders who earned deep respect from across the political spectrum.
Well, John Diefenbaker once said that if everybody thought the same way, nobody would be thinking. The Conservative Party is full of people with different views.
Born in Montreal, Segal said he was only 12 when a classroom visit by then Prime Minister Diefenbaker displaying the newly minted Canadian Bill of Rights inspired him to become a lifelong conservative. He served as Chief of Staff to Ontario Premier Bill Davis and to Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. But it was a Liberal Prime Minister, Paul Martin, who appointed Segal to the Senate. He left years before mandatory retirement to become the principal of Massey College at the University of Toronto. Today, the Prime Minister wrote, Hugh Segal cared deeply about our country. He dedicated his life to public service, and he brought people together. As others said repeatedly about him today, he was known as a happy warrior, a man optimistic about Canada. Hugh Segal died on Wednesday in Kingston at the age of 72. He was surrounded by his family. American networks are at odds over the president's son.
Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden is portrayed as either a crook or a pawn in a political fight. We dig into what's true and what is not. The heartbreak after a Canadian joins the fight in Ukraine.
I'm ready to actually just have my breakdown and grieve Joe.
And the challenge to bring his body home. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. Well, talk of corruption and scandal is ramping up in Washington. New impeachment hearings could be around the corner, not against Donald Trump this time, but Joe Biden. Republicans allege he's been compromised by foreign money and by the actions of his son Hunter. Alex Panetta lays out how we got to this point and where the story goes from here.
The biggest political scandal in American history.
Didn't hear a lot about Joe Biden. Why? Because he didn't do anything.
Depending on what news you watch, a controversy involving President Joe Biden's family is either
Hunter Biden,
the Biden crime family,
Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden,
the Hunter Biden plea deal,
Hunter Biden's Hunter Biden, the crackhead, one of the great corruption scandals in modern American history, a scandal that could lead to impeachment hearings within months. Or it's a partisan joke, a right-wing rabbit hole, a misguided obsession up there with Benghazi and Barack Obama's missing birth certificate.
I don't have any concerns. I think this is a witch hunt, but there has never been any evidence that Joe Biden has compromised his office.
So which is it? Serious, silly, or somewhere in between? Let's break it down. Before the 2020 election, some media, very few, mostly right-wing media, ran allegations that Joe Biden's relatives dabbled in influence peddling, that Biden's family, and especially his son, Hunter, got paid for their connections to him. Millions poured in from foreign countries from 2014 to 2018, from Ukraine, from Romania, from China, from people with criminal convictions elsewhere for corrupting public officials. For example, Hunter Biden received at least $664,000 from one Chinese company by his own admission in court for consulting services. That company was tight with the government in Beijing. Then one of its representatives was convicted of corruption, and the company chairman mysteriously vanished in 2018. These allegations were first reported by the New York Post in 2020, before the election, before Americans voted. Here's how Joe Biden responded. He said he'd never talk business with his son. He said his family never drew payments from China.
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about? China. Say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
The Post contradicted all of this. It said it had Hunter Biden's laptop abandoned at a repair shop with evidence on it that Joe Biden knew about his son's work, that Biden had repeatedly met his son's business partners. The paper also reported a disputed, still unproven, allegation that Joe Biden himself took a cut of this foreign money while he was out of politics. The story got minimal attention during the election. It was dismissed by retired U.S. intelligence officials who called it possible Russian disinformation. Few media touched the story. It was even suppressed. When people tried posting this story on social media, Facebook and Twitter blocked it. The White House press secretary was even forced off Twitter for posting this story. The journalist who first reported on all of this for the New York Post, she's from Montreal. Emma Jo Morris, a Canadian, at a recent congressional hearing, mocked other media who are only now acknowledging this story.
Over the last few years, my reporting has been confirmed by virtually every mainstream news outlet, from the Washington Post to the New York Times to Politico, when the stakes were nothing, by the way, 2 years later.
What she's saying is, this should have been reported before the election, before Americans voted. To Republicans, the stifling of this story was a scandal with monumental political implications.
It probably changed the outcome of the election. The court noted that they suppressed, among other topics, the Hunter Biden laptop story, and the court noted, not you, not me, not Republicans, that millions of Americans were not exposed to that story. Had they been, we know they might have voted differently.
Now, here we are, 3 years later. Republicans now have control of this House of Representatives, and they're using it to hold hearing after hearing into the Biden family with a procession of witnesses, like tax investigators who wanted to charge Hunter Biden with serious felony tax crimes, like writing off encounters with prostitutes as a business expense. 2 IRS investigators allege they were not allowed to pursue this case, that supervisors interfered with their investigation in a way they had never witnessed before.
It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys. I still think that a special counsel is necessary for this investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
They've shared their evidence with Congress. Here's one notable snippet: a text exchange where Hunter tries applying pressure on a Chinese businessman. He says in this 2017 message, "I'm sitting here with my father. You will regret not following my direction." The White House has now changed its official line. Remember that denial that the Bidens ever talked business? That's gone. So is the denial of Chinese revenues. The new line is the president was never in business with his son. Okay, so what does any of this actually prove? When that text message was sent in 2017, Joe Biden wasn't even in office. In fact, the message itself is kind of vague, and there's no evidence at all that Joe Biden was ever aware of it being sent. Hunter Biden's defense is that this was a chapter in his life when he was struggling with serious drug addiction. His lawyers say that in this disastrous period, Hunter was speaking for himself, not for his dad. They say Republicans are taking little tidbits and exaggerating, building a wall of falsehoods from tiny bricks of truth. And the biggest falsehood of all, the Democrats say, is that any of this involves the president.
Didn't hear a lot about Joe Biden. Why? Because he didn't do anything. This has nothing to do with him.
Take the most incendiary claim of all, that Joe Biden got a cut of these foreign transactions, starting years earlier when he was still vice president. Republicans keep repeating it and suggesting Biden's been corrupted, but they don't have any firsthand evidence. They have sources. One is a disgruntled ex-business partner of Hunter's. Another, an FBI informant who said he heard something from someone else. It is preposterous, Democrats say, to watch Republicans crying foul now, after the presidency of Donald Trump, where they spent years ignoring repeated conflicts of interest, bigger conflicts of interest.
Of course, President Trump got $5.4 million from the Chinese while he was president because they were leasing space in Trump Tower. He goes out and air kisses President Xi. Totally perfect. Jared Kushner gets $2 billion from the Saudis, even though he oversaw Mideast peace. Totally kosher. Ivanka Trump, you know, she's doing business with the Chinese while she's working in the White House. Totally beautiful.
So, what now? Republicans are starting to talk about maybe an impeachment inquiry. They're being pressured to do it by Donald Trump. And Trump isn't just egging them on, he is demanding it.
Any Republican that doesn't act on Democrat fraud should be immediately primaried and get out.
Let's be clear. There is no way impeachment will remove Joe Biden from office. The Senate won't let that happen. But it would put everything we've just discussed in a high-profile, primetime news-making forum, right as the 2024 election ramps up. So what's the bottom line here? Will this hurt Joe Biden in next year's election? Or might it even help him? Allow him to argue, Republicans are fixated on fantasies, and I'm focused on you, the American voter. We will have your answer in 15 months, when Americans pick a president.
U.S. Congress is on recess right now. It returns next month. Potential impeachment hearings are expected to dominate the Republican agenda. Now, coming up, a trip to the edge of space.
It was really the best ride ever.
The lucky tourists who got a flight of a lifetime.
And you can see them just enjoying that view.
This is the aftermath of more bombing in Ukraine. Officials there say Russia attacked a hotel, killing at least one person. It happened as Ukraine ordered thousands of residents out of 37 towns and villages in the Kharkiv region as fighting there intensifies. Canada's military is not on the front lines in Ukraine, but some Canadians individually have decided to join the fight. Tonight, we revisit the story of one veteran who died there in combat and his family's efforts to bring him home with honor. Sam Sampson brings us this intimate look at how it happened.
Just come on in, grab a seat. Sounds like Josiah should hopefully actually be in Canadian airspace right now. So
Wonderful.
We're there. It's the day. We're in the home stretch.
This is it. It's taken a long time, but Carissa Hildebrand finally gets to bring her love Joseph home.
I'm just anxious and excited and ready.
Joseph Hildebrand left for Ukraine in June. The 33-year-old Canadian veteran died early November volunteering on the front lines. Getting his body from Ukraine's Donetsk region to Swift Current, Saskatchewan would take a mountain of unexpected effort, negotiating for weeks with foreign officials while fighting back grief.
I'm ready to actually just have my breakdown and grieve Joe. It's time.
Do you find like you're holding it all in until
Yes.
a certain moment?
Definitely. Yes. Joe absolutely loved to sing. He sang all the time.
Look so happy.
We were. I've never been happier in my life. Same with Joe V. So
Yeah.
this hat he just wore every day, and it still smells like his sweat. So I hung on to it. I know it's weird, but
They were together for 8 years.
this is the year that Joe adopted Jovi. So we took family photos.
Building a family and a life.
What did you think of that decision for him to go?
Like, I have to respect his decision. I have trouble understanding it. This is exactly what I was always worried about every time he wanted to go help. He wanted the farm life and the family life, but he also wanted to constantly go be with his like brotherhood and go help. It's just two different worlds.
Some Canadians may choose to take more active steps.
Canada warned people not to go to Ukraine. There wasn't much the government could do if the worst happened.
And I got a call and it said Ukraine. And I just like instantly kind of knew, if that makes sense. It was like, oh no. That would be his old military tags.
Ukraine officials brought Joseph's remains from the front line to Kyiv for cremation. Their plan to ship him home would take months. Global Affairs Canada was in touch with the family, but Ukraine called the shots. Joseph was a volunteer soldier.
His military uniform and his pins.
Over in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Steve Kersnick, part of Joseph's military family, jumped into action.
I'd reached out to a bunch of other humanitarian groups that I'm kind of connected with and said, hey, listen, like, we have this fallen veteran, we got to get him back. Let's start planning the leg of the route on how he's going to go, what paperwork do we have to get.
Steve and Joseph served in Afghanistan as part of the Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry. Joseph wouldn't get a military funeral. He died a private citizen. Still, his family wanted him escorted home with dignity.
It's not that we're asking for a lot, we wanted to have someone repatriate Joseph home because we didn't want him alone being shipped in a box like an Amazon package.
That's where another Army brother comes in.
This is Joseph Hildebrand and myself. Our kit chained up together. Pick up the urn tomorrow in Lviv.
Josiah Napier knew Joseph for years. He was in Ukraine when Joseph died. He volunteered to bring the remains home, delaying his own trip back by a month.
My wife wants me home. If it had been me and there'd been no advocate here, it would have been a pretty hellish process. So I stayed because it's the right thing to do.
Joe is sitting up front with us.
He hitched a ride out of Ukraine with a foreign soldier.
Thank you, Andrew, for getting us here.
It's my pleasure to help.
14 hours to Germany.
And we are getting ready to board for Canada.
And a 9.5-hour flight to Calgary, all for Joseph's family, who Josiah had never met.
4:07 our time. He wrote made it to Calgary. So they're there. That's the text I've been waiting for all day.
Now, the home stretch. They've decided to meet in Medicine Hat. The moment, built up for weeks, is all Carissa can see.
It's gonna be strange to go home with Joe. Very strange. Hi, Josiah.
Finally, Joseph is home. It's a tragedy all military families fear, so this one makes a promise. If another Canadian dies in Ukraine, they'll help bring them home.
This is going to happen to another family, and another family, and another family, and something needs to be done.
Thank you so much. It's their way of bringing dignity to the brutality of war.
And indeed, more Canadians have died since then fighting in Ukraine, including 2 men killed in April. The Canadian Armed Forces, meanwhile, is supporting Ukraine's efforts through NATO missions and training outside of the country. Coming up on The National, a BC woman is fighting wildfires while training for a trophy.
It's like one family to the next. Like my Unicor's my family, this team's my family.
The Canadian pitcher who's turning up the heat in our moment. Well, tonight, Virgin Galactic's first ever space tourists are back here on Earth. And as Chris Reyes shows us, the historic launch was, of course, the trip of a lifetime.
Release, release, release.
That's the moment when the Virgin spaceship Unity launched 80 kilometers above the Earth.
Go Keisha, go Anna, go John.
And this is a look inside when it reached the edge of space. 4 minutes of weightlessness, a lifetime of awe for Virgin Galactic's first space tourists.
The most exciting day of my life.
Their ride is a miracle of engineering. The 3 passengers' journey a tale of inspiration. 80-year-old John Goodwin hasn't let his Parkinson's disease get in the way of his dream. Mother-daughter Keisha Shahaf and Anastasia Mayers from Antigua won their ticket in a raffle. They're the first women from the Caribbean to go to space.
It was really the best ride ever. It was incredible, and I'm still starstruck.
Hard not to be when you travel at 3 times the speed of sound. Then get this view outside your window. The landing just as impressive. The Unity is a reusable plane that glides itself back to Earth.
And touchdown of the main gear.
It's been less than 3 years since SpaceX launched the first ever civilian flight to space. Virgin Galactic and another competitor, Blue Origin, are all in a race to make this kind of flight a more common one, available to all, not just the wealthy and the lucky few.
Well, it's sort of like where aviation was 100 years ago, when there'd been a lot of early testing and early flights and very dangerous, but suddenly aviation started to become commercial with the very first airlines where, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of flights fly every single day.
At $450,000 a ticket, Virgin Galactic says they have 800 people on their waiting list. Fresh off their flight, these passengers say the experience is all worth it.
It exceeded my wildest dreams.
Just ask John Goodwin, who bought his ticket 18 years ago for about half the cost. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Well, baseball teams from around the world are in Thunder Bay, Ontario this week, competing to qualify for the Women's Baseball World Cup. Team Canada already secured its spot. And in the team is a pitcher who not only dominates on the mound, she takes on something far more dangerous, BC wildfires. Her split duty is our moment.
Wearing 16, the designated hitter, Allison Schroeder.
You get a rush when you go into a big wildfire, and I get a rush when I get put into a big game, and it's just kind of chasing the next adrenaline rush. I grew up in a small town, and baseball was the thing to do pretty much, and I had a really good core group there that encouraged me to keep playing, so it's just the sport that stuck with me. I work for BC Wildfire Service as a crew member on a unit crew. I think it's now the worst wildfire season on record in BC, so we've been going since May and probably going to be going till October. So I'm here for 10 days, 11 days, and then I'm going to be, the day I get back, I'll be meeting my crew for duty.
I mean, it looks a little bit different for me than anybody else training-wise. Like, it's more or less me bringing a baseball glove and like some J-bands to a fire camp, finding a fence. Well, it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I had a hard time with the mental side of the game. Like, one error would beat me up. But now, coming back from Wildfire, it's like I've just been working 16-hour days on the fire line, and now I get to be here with all my best friends and play baseball, which is the game I love. It's like one family to the next. Like, my Unicre's my family, this team's my family.
Hey, Allison, we all know you're having fun, but thank you for what you're doing for this country, both on the mound and, of course, in those fires. And we all know you're heading right back there as soon as this is done. That is the National for August the 10th. Thank you for being with us. Have a good night.